Hi there, my name is Ava Arani, and I hold the silent meditation retreats through Spanda School or functional spirituality, depending on where you found us. So, the main question we get about our silent meditation and yoga retreat is it like a Vipassana retreat? So, a Vipassana retreat, and keep in mind, I'm a little bit biased towards the retreats that we hold now, but I have attended multiple 10-day Vipassana retreats as well as the 3-day retreats that they hold, two of those as well. The Vipassana retreat is almost like a franchise, you could say. So it's the exact same retreat every single time, all over the world. It's always by donation. It always starts with 10 days, but once you've done that, you're an old student and you can do the 3-day. It has the exact same schedule, the same structure, and there's no actual lead teacher there. There are some kind of support teachers there, but the lead teacher is Goenka, who has since passed, and it's the exact same videos that they play every single retreat. It's the same sequence of videos. The retreat is quite strict. It's in alignment with Buddhist principles and one Buddhist meditation technique, mainly the Vipassana technique. Although for the first 7 days you practice the Anapana technique, which is for 7 days, 13 hours a day meditating, focusing on the sensations of air as it rubs past the tip of your nose. You start really early, you end quite early as well, and there's a strong recommendation not to move the body at all. Dinner isn't served. There's a really strict guideline around not practicing anything else, including journaling, yoga, other forms of meditation. So it's quite a strict container, and I would say, in my opinion, it's outdated, and there's no flexibility. It's the exact same retreat that's been practiced for, decades now, and the teacher has passed. So it's not, remodeling, or for many people, it's not really relevant or meaningful. So the retreats that we run down in Denmark, most of the time in Western Australia, although we also hold them abroad when travel is permitted. Ours is a yoga and meditation retreat that is 100% silent. It includes a variety of meditation techniques, but also each day there's 2 substantial trainings that happen in the fields of meditation, deconditioning, cultivating, awakening, non-dual philosophy, tantric philosophy, yogic philosophy, modern philosophy, and modern techniques that address the mind, the body, stress, trauma, and how those relate to your meditation and yoga practice to really help you make the most of your time on retreat. Our retreats run for either 4 or 7 days, and they tend to be more for the person who is a part of the world, So if you have a job, you have a family, and you're looking to be more functional and find more joy, find more healing, this is what the retreat is based on. The Vipassana retreat, I say one of the best parts about the Vipassana retreat is finishing it. So it really offers you a strong sense of completion and determination and discipline, which is amazing. There was a reason I went on the retreat so many times. It's very accessible, being free, and it's accessible for people who don't have very much money but have a lot of time, as you need to commit for 10 days. So I think it's a beautiful experience. Also, I went on those retreats after I had already been on a number of meditation retreats in the style that I teach. So when I went there, I kind of knew already about meditation, about my body, about discipline, and how to be in the practice. Where for beginners who don't know too much of that information, the Vipassana can be daunting and also, have an unhealthy and unhelpful effect. So I am quite critical about the Vipassana style, although I do know that it works for some people, and that is absolutely fine. And I would be wary to recommend the Vipassana retreat for anyone, but I don't think that it's not valuable for anyone. I think it is valuable for some people. So with our retreats, the silent yoga and meditation retreat, you can expect a morning The first thing in the morning is a flowing yoga practice. And this is also beginner friendly. We do have people with a range of physical body abilities and injuries that come on retreat. So it's not, if you don't have a previous yoga practice, this is not going to limit you from being able to attend. However, if you can practice yoga before you come on retreat, wherever you start, you'll go deeper. So if you start right from the beginning, you'll go deeper. If you start from, having a bit more practice, you'll be able to go further when you're actually on retreat with us and make the most out of your time. But it is beginner friendly and beginner to yoga friendly as well. So if you're unflexible and things like that, that's okay. There's a lot of modifications that are given. Although the morning practice does have stronger and quicker elements, we work up to that, and there's always options to take it at your pace, because that's the only way to actually do the practice, is at your pace. So with the functional style that we offer, that is very accessible. And then we have meditations scattered throughout the day. We don't usually sit for more than 20 or 30 minutes at a time without having a stretching, walking, or laying down or journaling break, at least optional. So you don't have to worry about long sitting meditations where your mind is just going to be tormenting you, or the body tormenting you and being in pain, without having the option to refresh yourself and then come back and have another go. But there is also options for longer meditation sittings where you don't take that break and you can actually sit for longer, and I'll be holding the space for that. Throughout the rest of the day, there are 2 other restorative yoga practices, because one of the main intentions for this retreat is deep rest. So it's really a space to cultivate the yin principles of your being, and to balance out the yang and overactivity and the hypervigilance and the survival mode that ourselves and our society tends to be operating in the daily life. So it's really an imbalanced approach in the other direction. Deep rest, but it actually has an effect of balancing out our nervous systems and replenishing us, which feels absolutely amazing. So there's restorative yoga, the meditation is nourishing, the breaks, the food, the schedule, the structure is all being designed and has been tweaked and refined over almost a decade of my own experience with silent meditation retreat. So it's been an evolving process, and I'm so happy with where it is now, and I'm sure it'll continue to evolve depending on what the people need that arrive into the container. So there is a little bit of flexibility with that. I always have a support staff there, so there's someone extra besides me that you could come and speak to if anything was to go wrong or if you need any support. And we also have Q&A every single day, where during the day I collect notes on pieces of paper from everyone. It could be about the philosophy or the practice, and then we answer it in an evening session, which is a little bit like watching TV. And we just kind of go through the questions, and it tends to be lighthearted, and sometimes I get set up, reading out questions. So it tends to be a little bit more of a fun part of the retreat. The other intention of the retreat is to provide a profound meditation training, really identifying and working through, and a big training around the obstacles of meditation. Even if you're an advanced practitioner, there are some obstacles that might be there that, are in your blind spots. Definitely obstacles that have been in my blind spots as I have studied and practiced meditation over the years. So there's a significant meditation training there. But I really like to speak about the foundations of meditation practice. And like I said, whether you're beginner or advanced, it's sure to offer you an inspiring perspective and to keep you refining your practice in the space. And then we go into practice, periodically throughout the day. And the final main intention that I have and that I bring for the retreat is to be a space of inquiry. And the inquiry is not only a place to sit with yourself with curiosity and compassion, to investigate the different layers of yourself and what's really here and what needs to be digested and allowed and processed and potentially released or resolved. But there's also a deep inquiry, my favorite inquiry, into the source of our being, which is actually a profoundly accessible reality through the heart space to know ourself beyond the layers. And that might sound very mystical, or that might sound totally apt for you, but the self-inquiry method of Ramana Maharshi is embedded throughout the entire retreat. And the whole retreat is really designed around and to facilitate the awakening process. So what does it mean for awareness to awaken to its true nature? What is our infinite essence? What is the core of our being? The deep, unchanging rest that I am is not just a philosophy that we speak about, and there's not just techniques that I discuss and talk about, but really it's the foundation of our practice and the intention that's closest to my heart that's woven throughout the entire retreat. So although it might seem abstract for those who have been on retreat, and the retreat is made up often, most of the time, of at least half repeaters. So there's a really strong, powerful energy holding you in that retreat if you're a beginner. And if you're a repeater, you know that as soon as you come back to that space of the retreat, it's like you never left, and you continue from the last day of the last retreat and go deeper and deeper. So although that might sound abstract about, inquiring into the mystery of our essential being, it is explained as we go on through the retreat, but we definitely start with the basics at the beginning. So if you're interested, fill out an application form just to already start to get the feel of what is expected of you and what you can expect. Definitely reach out with questions. We want to make sure that it's the right fit for you at this time. It needs to feel good. It needs to feel like a yes, although it might feel like a slight stretch and uncomfortable. If you can take a full belly breath and breathe it all the way through, it might be the sign that you're ready to embark on a silent retreat with us. And we want to make sure that you're informed and that you feel comfortable as much as possible before coming on the retreat. So we're so open to answering any questions that you might have further about, the difference between a Vipassana or meal times or anything like that. Hop onto the website. The schedule is there, and also a full document of the retreat guidelines. So reading through the retreat guidelines should give you another big taste of what to expect on retreat and how we hold the space, which is very unique. I've got a really high standard of how I hold a container like this, which is really strong. And it's been refined over many years, and I know how unique it is. I know how it holds many elements that I loved and that were so powerful for me in other retreats, but also adds in the comfort and the support of elements that aren't available in many retreats out there. It's very different from your average yoga retreat or holiday retreat. It's a super rejuvenating experience of connecting deeply to yourself, deeply to your body, being nourished with the support from the outside as well, from the team, from the food, from the sensational nature on location, and getting that time to be with yourself, but with the structure and the container around you to hold you accountable to really take your practice deep in those 4 or 7 days. So look forward to hearing from you if you're interested, and reach out if you have any questions. Thanks.